Hi everyone, today we're going to make sourdough bread. A good sourdough starter can float or it can sink, and a bad sourdough starter always sinks. Now a good sourdough starter has bubbles, the other one has blackness on top of it. See, this is good and then this one is bad because this one floated but this one didn't. It all depends on the air. The dead one has no air, but this one has multiple bubbles and air. So first you need to get your sourdough starter. This is one of my favorite breads because it only has 4 ingredients. The bread that we bought had over 20 ingredients. But this one only has 4. Make sure to scrape it all out of the bowl. Since it's really sticky, it can stick in there. And then you pour in your water. And then you mix it until there's no strings. Kind of like a whirlpool with sourdough. You have to make sure that there's no strings, like there's a string right there, because if there is, then it's not going to be a good sourdough. Now, I'm going to just mix it a little bit more. And I think that's about it. There's no strings. Okay, now you pour in your flour. And then you have to mix all of that together. There's going to be a lot of flour in there, so you have to mix it really strongly. It's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. Have good dough. Now, after it's all mixed, a bit shaggy like this, and make sure all the wet and dry ingredients are inside. If there's a little bit of flour on top, just keep stirring it until you see no flour. So it's been 30 minutes. Now we're going to mix in our salt. Just mix it in really thoroughly. Because then one side might be really salty and the other might be lackluster. Don't pour all of your salt at one time, then it'll be the same thing. Now you add in salt. And you dip your hand in the water again. And you mix. And then you just mix it as much as you can. If it breaks, it's okay. It's dough. You can punch it. Just get it all incorporated before you go on to the next step. Okay, and once I finish the salt, because I still feel a little bit grains in there. Okay, now it's done. Now we should let this sit for 1 hour. So we've been letting it proof in the sun for an hour, and now our dough is ready. This is what it looks like. And now we're gonna bring it inside. Okay, so now we're going to stretch out the dough again after leaving it in the sunlight for 1 hour. Here's the dough. Okay. Flat dough. into a different square. Now we're going to fold it. Then we fold it over like this. Like this. And then we fold it like this. And like that. And then here, put it again. And then you let it proof for 1 hour again. Now it's proofed for the third time. Second. And now we're going to take it out of the bowl. And now that it's taken out, we just move this to the side, and then we stretch it again. Then we stretch it again. Then we stretch it again. And we stretch it one time, stretch it again, and let it go. And then we should stretch it upwards. And stretch it to the sides. Oop, now we got a hole. Now we fold it into the middle. We fold this into the middle. And to one side. And then we do it again. And we do like that. And now it's going to proof for the third time for 1 hour. So after 3 hours of proofing, our dough is ready. Now you have to flour your work surface. Okay. Then you take out your dough. I don't have any water on me right now, so I'll just bring this over. And put right here. Okay, now after it's done, I'm going to cut it with my cutting tool and cut it straight in half. Once it's cut into half, that's split. Okay, now that it's cut in half, you fold it from one corner, then another corner, and another corner, and another corner. Then I wiggle it out, then I wiggle it out, then I wiggle it out, and then I wiggle it out, then I tuck it, then I flip it, and then I turn it, and turn it, and then I turn it. And then I turn it, and then I turn it. Flip it into, and then I wiggle it out, and wiggle it out, and wiggle it out, and then I 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 push down to the bottom, and then I twist it. And then I squeeze it. And then for 1 hour we are going to proof these.
So
I want my dad to help me with this because the pans are very hot.
I've had the pans in the oven now for the last 475 degrees for the last 20 minutes as the oven's been heating up. So this part, we've already let the dough proof for its first 3 hours. As you saw, we proved Lucas proofed for 3 hours. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and remove the towel. As you see, it's already doubled in size of where it's actually already been. And this one's doubled as well. This is our smaller loaf. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the pans out of the oven one at a time. And then I've gone ahead and we've cut
Parchment paper.
Parchment paper, right? Nice little squares of parchment paper. I'm going to stand on this side now, and you're going to get over here, okay? That way I can get close to the hot pan. Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off. You saw smoke coming out. I'm going to actually take this off right here. Okay, so what we're going to do with the first pan, we're going to take your bread, and we're going to lay the parchment paper flat on this side. Alright, so if you were to put the parchment paper down, I found that sometimes it misshapes the loaf a little bit. So you can take the parchment paper, flip it up like this, and you can lay it down. There we go. We're going to brush a little bit of the excess flour off. And so what this is a little part that we actually cut the dough. So when you're scoring the dough, don't be afraid to cut into it. Cut into it really well here. I like to do a simple 3 pieces on top. You can do fun designs later once you start playing with it. But 3 really fun designs right on top. Just really get in there. And what that does, let's now explode. Oh, no. Don't worry about covering that up for now. We'll still need to use it, okay? Okay. And see how I have the corners? I'm going to let it lay in there with the corners, okay? If I have a little bit standing up over there like that, it's okay. Would you mind opening the oven door for me? Alright? And then I'm going to put it right in here like that. Really easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay? So now I'm putting this into a 475 degree oven.
For how many minutes?
So Lucas had a great question. How many minutes do we put this in for? So 475 degrees for the first 25 minutes. Okay? This one's really hot as well. Okay. Remember, put your hand down here. Put the parchment paper over. And flip it over. Let it fall out. Hopefully it falls out. Okay. There you go. Put your hand back under there. There we go. Alright. So now this lame is very, very sharp. It's called a lame. It's very, very sharp. Okay? So make sure your fingers are out of the way. Go a little deeper. Perfect. Oh, don't be afraid to pull it back here a little bit. Okay, so it's been at 475 degrees for 25 minutes. So as you see, it comes off. Go ahead and remove the lids. Alright, so now we're going to put it back in at 425 for another 20 minutes. We just put all the bread in at, what's the temperature?
475 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alright, so we're going to put that in for the first 25 minutes. And then once it gets down to 25 minutes, then we're going to remove the lid from the
sourdough.
We're going to remove the lid from the pots. And then we're going to cook it down to 425 degrees for another 20 minutes.
So 45 minutes in total.
Correct.
We have taken it out of the 425 degree oven for 20 minutes. And it should be baked. If it has yellow flour stuff on it, it's okay. Don't try it yet, otherwise you will get burned because, well, it just came out of a hot oven. So if it sounds hollow, it's good. If it doesn't, it isn't good. That's a rule with sourdough. You always want to make sure that it sounds as hollow as it can. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to let it cool for maybe 10 minutes.
That sounds good.
And then we're going to come back.
But Lucas, I have to say, for your first ever sourdough, I am very excited. This looks like it's going to be delicious. I'm really proud of you. Did such a great job. And honestly, this is Lucas's very first sourdough all by himself. I'm super proud. Thank you for watching.
I've made my first sourdough bread, so now we're going to see what it looks like.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to try to cut it as much as I can. take a piece, rip it off, and we're going to try it with our butter. Look good. It's really good. It's really good. Okay, so the natural squishiness of the bread honestly has to be the best part about it. And if you see, there's some big air bubbles and some smaller ones inside of there. So it's like a weird texture in your mouth because you get some small, but you get some big air bubbles at the same time. So thanks. Okay, so thank you for viewing this video. It would help us a lot if you would subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching. And the subscribe button is down below. I would like it if you were to make it gray. Bye-bye.